What's going on, guys? Chinese guy here. Well, I'm back today in this video to give you guys a very quick review or overview of the new Hovertanks, which was featured in the CTE testing for the Final Stand DLC, which took place about 2 weeks ago. Now, since then, I haven't seen a lot of YouTubers actually talk about them, and I thought I can give you guys my own perspective, like how they work, what are their problems, and are they effective enough to even stand up to the normal main battle tanks? Now, to get started, before we even talk about their effectiveness on the battlefield, we need to learn how to actually drive these things and how to use them to their full potential, at least on the PC. It's quite simple. On the PC, you just use the WASD keys to move the tank forwards, backwards, and so forth. It is different where in the normal tanks, if you press the A and D keys, the tank will just turn on the spot, but now you need to use the mouse if you want to swivel left or right, and by doing this, your tank will do 360s really quickly, and the A and D keys now forces your tank to strafe left or right, very slowly though. I wouldn't say it's necessarily too hard to get used to, but maybe with 30 minutes or an hour or so of practice in the Hovertank, you should be relatively set. And the problem that I find is that when you switch back to the normal main battle tanks, for the first 5 minutes or so, you will probably be a little bit confused with the controls. So switching back and forth might be a little bit annoying in the future when the DLC comes out. There is also one big major problem with the Hovertanks during the CTE testing, and that is that they had terrible aim. But DICE is aware of this, and I am 99% sure that they will fix this little problem when the finished DLC comes out. And because of the terrible aiming, killing infantry was extremely hard since I just can't aim my HMG at them. My solution to that problem is just to basically run them over, which is surprisingly effective. If you know an enemy is on one of your sides planting C4s or some sort of explosives, you can quickly swivel the whole tank with your mouse or whatever controls you use to burn them with the powerful jets on the bottom of the Hovertank. And also a little quick tip for you guys when using the Hovertanks, at least from my personal experience. When I try to fire at enemy vehicle targets, I lead my shots ahead using the movement keys WASD to make much more accurate shots, because I feel like aiming with the cannon on the Hovertanks currently is again extremely difficult, so WASD helps a lot. I would even say to you guys, think of these vehicles as slower tank destroyers, as they are extremely maneuverable. Using my mouse and maybe higher sensitivity, again I was able to do 360-degree turns very quickly. It just makes it easier for you to defend yourself if you somehow suddenly spotted an enemy tank on the minimap sneaking up onto you. But just like any other tank, you just don't want to get shot in the ass, cause it completely takes away your mobility, which in my opinion is your #1 advantage while driving the Hovertanks. Also, while driving these vehicles, I felt like because of the mobility to quickly swivel, I was somehow able to so-called dodge some of the tank shells. Maybe it was because in the CTE, this DLC was in very early alpha, so maybe there were some hit detection issues, but I don't know. It felt weird when enemy players were somehow missing very easy shots, just as when I was doing a lot of sudden movements, so maybe it's netcode, maybe it is the Hovertank itself, I don't know. Overall, the Hovertank from my experience with it is really good at close quarters, and the reason why I feel this way is because I think it all relates back to the whole weird aiming thing. Maybe in the future, once fixed, it will also be good for long range tank sniping, which I don't think is always going to be the case since the main battle tanks are the ones which are completely still and has full control of the cannon. But right now, I would really like to get close and personal with the Hovertank so I can always get the jump on my enemies. Oh, also, before I go, I have a little bit of news for the second so-called beta test done on the CTE for the Final Stand DLC. In the latest CTE patch notes, they said that in a couple of weeks they will re-enable Final Stand maps once again on the CTE for a limited time to stress test the servers and the maps. They also mentioned how much the maps have changed visually, so hopefully we will get more information on this topic very soon, and I will be sure to update you guys ASAP. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and leave a comment down below of what you guys think of the Hovertank. If you have actually had some experience on the CTE with the Hovertank, also please let me know how you feel about them. But overall, I really like them as I am a huge tank fan and I just like driving tanks in general in Battlefield 4. I feel like they're extremely powerful and they are a great tool on the battlefield to have, so the Hovertank is a nice addition. Thanks for watching. Peace out, guys.